Well, back today, we're going to start putting the first coat of finish on. First, I have one more little thing I want to do, and I burned my little logo down here. I'm going to give a little light sanding where it squirts the wood around it a little bit. It's going to be on the very bottom. This is handcrafted by William Akins. Well, so far so good. I've got the backs of the two doors done, and in a little bit I will flip them over and do the fronts, and I'll show you the fronts. I've also done the two pieces that are going to go on the back of the cabinet, and I don't think I'm going to put any stain on it. They come out real pretty red, which is what I'm kind of shooting for with this gunstock stain. So I'm fixing to start on the cabinet, and my first coat for today is a mixture that I do that's 1/3 boiled linseed oil, 1/3 denatured alcohol, and 1/3 shellac, and shake it up real good. You have to keep it shaking because it will separate on you in minutes. Every little bit I have to put the lid back on and reshake it. So what I'm doing is brushing it on, and once I get so far, then I'll come back with a rag and wipe it, catch any drips, and smooth it out a little bit. Some on the top here. It really did a good job on the doors. I was really pleased. And this is basically going to be my sealer coat. If you remember in an earlier video, I had a test stick that I tried different stains and finishes on. And I wanted to go with the golden pecan, but my wife chose the gunstock, a little more reddish color. She likes that. And it's like I said before, we have to please the wife. But I can deal with it, I like it. But what I am doing right now is putting this on as a base coat. I do it a lot with different projects. I use this on my bowls as a finish to start with. This really makes the oak look really nice. I could live with a couple of coats of this. This is Thursday. I came down yesterday and cleaned my shop. It was very dusty, and I had already taken this cabinet apart, propped it up here, and I swept the shop out. And then I go around with my shop vac and vacuum everything that I can. Then I turn the shop back into a blower and put my dust mask on and my goggles and start at the back and just blow it out. Pegboard over there with the tools and everything. And then I decided to go ahead and start today because I like finishing. It's not that bad. It's part of the process. A lot of people don't like it. You can mess up a project easy, but this is for me. I'm not selling it, so I'll be happy with it. But the worst thing is you put one coat on and you're done for the day. You got to leave the shop immediately. Can't do anything else. So that's to me the worst part about the finishing is I can't get a day's work in. I don't have a paint room. Over here a little bit. My goal is to put this on today, come back tomorrow and put the coat of gunstock stain on. Same way I'm doing this, I'll probably brush it on and then come back and wipe down the excess. Saturday, going to our wood club meeting, the Modern Woodworkers Association. If you haven't heard of us, look us up on the internet. We started here in Atlanta about a year ago, and we meet regular for breakfast, and then we go to Woodcraft or some other place, and hang out there, make a purchase or two, have a good time. And our group has really spread. There's chapters all over the United States. I think I've heard a rumor of one international group now. But we have no dues, we have no big ideas. We just meet up, talk woodworking, fellowship, have a good meal. You can go to www.modernwoodworkersassociation.com. There's some of the guys do a live podcast. They've been doing that for a while, and that's really neat. But I'm going to come back tomorrow with the stain. Then Saturday after our meeting, I'm going to come back down here and put a coat of my wiping varnish on. And then Sunday do the same thing and put a third coat on Monday, because I am off Monday from work. In between all these coats, I will be buffing it with 4/0 steel wool. After that final coat has dried, my goal is to come back and wet sand it with some 2000 grit wet sandpaper. And then polish it with Renaissance wax. And I will need help carrying this upstairs, because this oak is quite heavy. And probably install the doors upstairs laying on the carpet. My son Tyler has already volunteered to move all my DVDs over and put them in alphabetical order. Isn't that sweet? Okay, I'm going to have to mix up another batch of this. Well, I'm going to finish working on this cabinet here. You can see the colors really coming out. And then when I finish this, I will flip the doors over. That gives me a chance to let the backs dry. And then I'll put a coat on the top of the doors, front of the doors, and we'll come back and let you see how that looks. Well, so far everything's turning out good. I got the cabinet done. The back pieces, it's going to cover the back. And I've got the back sides of the doors. Now I flipped them, fixing to do the front sides. By the way, my wife just came in from work. She gave me her seal of approval on coat number 1, so that's a good thing. This is what I've been interested in right here. I want to see how these raised panel doors are going to look. This oak's really soaking the first coat of this in. Alright, got half of one door. Now let's give it a wipe down. Find me a clean section of this old footy here. I really think that color just almost looks good by itself, but we're still going to put some stain on. Okay, well I'm going to finish this door, let these dry overnight, come back tomorrow, hit everything with a little bit of 4/0 steel wool, just to knock any ridges down there might be, Put that first coat of gunstock stain. That'll show me what color it's going to look like. So I will see you tomorrow. Hey, back again today. This is day 2 of the finishing. I've got the first coat on, which is my boiled linseed oil shellac denatured alcohol mix. Turned out very nice. I've got some triple alt steel wool pads, and I'm just going to give them a light rub down on everything in the cabinet too. This is knocking down any little dust nibs that have stuck to it. Smooths it out a little bit. Any little fuzz that got stuck to it. Any particles that were in the mix. Alright, this side feels real nice. Doesn't take much, just a light rubbing. Here we have Tyler, he's helping me today. We've got the doors rubbed down, front and back, and we are working on the shelves right now. As soon as that's done, I will take my blower and blow off everything, and then we will start applying the stain. Alright, we got the back sides of the doors done. Now Tyler is staining the cabinet, and I'll come behind him with a rag and wipe off the excess to smooth it out. Backs of the doors look good. As soon as we're through with the cabinet, we're going to flip the doors over and do the front sides. This is my youngest son, Tyler Akins. He just turned 21 a few weeks ago. And when he was 15, he got Eagle Scout. And after building his project, I took the leftover lumber and the little rough looking bench on the far wall over there, what I made from his leftover scraps. Here's a little thunder right now. We're getting a little rain in Georgia. But this is putting a nice color on this cabinet. I'm going to come out my little rag and just lightly wipe it smooth and get the excess. That is looking real nice. My linseed oil shellac mixture, give it a nice sanding sealer. And that kept some of the grain from getting too dark. Worked out just right. Alright, we did the backs first. Cabinet is done. I'm going to flip the doors. And Tyler is applying the gunstock stain to the front of the doors. And this color has turned out gorgeous. We did a good job. The first coat did a good job of sealing the wood because I'm not getting any of those dark streaks I was afraid of. It's looking sharp. Okay, I'm back here today on the final day of finishing. You saw me Thursday put the boiled linseed shellac mixture on. Friday my son Tyler helped me put the stain on. Saturday I put one coat of 50/50 satin poly and mineral spirits. And same thing on Sunday. I was going to film Saturday, but my battery had died on my camera and I hadn't charged it. But we don't need 3 days of this, so I decided just to wait till today and do today's finishing. So to get in between all these coats, I've been using this triple alt steel wool pad. First time I've used these, I kind of like it. Give it a nice little light rub down. After 2 coats, I'm starting to see a few spots are shinier than others, so I'll hit those, and then I'll work on the cabinet. I'm really liking how this finish has turned out. Okay, got the doors wiped down both sides. Also a lot rubbing on the backboards. And do a little rubbing here. When I get through with a section, I like to lean over and get a light hitting it just right, get that raking light. Make sure I don't have any shinier spots than others. The feel of it. A little bit tacky. We've had a good bit of rain lately, but that's okay. It's only had a day of drying. Well, I've got the backs of the doors, and I've got the back pieces with their final coat on. Fixing to start on the shelves. And remember, I'm using 50 satin poly with 50 mineral spirits. And believe it or not, the only smell that's ever bothered me in the shop is mineral spirits. I don't know, the polyurethane doesn't bother me, any of the other things does not bother me, but for some reason mineral spirits kind of messes with my sinuses. And I bought odorless, which comes out of the jug milk white. It looks just like milk, and it makes your mixture kind of cloudy and white, but it goes on clear and dries clear, so that's okay. All right, let's start putting this final coat on this guy here. Using one of these little footies here. I like using those. Every now and then on laundry day, I tell everybody to, after we have finished laundry, to bring me their socks that do not have a match. And it's amazing how many there are. And the ones I want, I'll bring to the shop. I used to use gloss poly because I just thought things were supposed to be super shiny. And then I got tired of the plastic look. So I like the satin poly. Got everything else done except this side of this door, and I'm really pleased with my doors. Learned a lot making raised panel doors. I like how they turned out. This red oak has turned out real nice. A lot of folks don't like red oak, but I do. Flooded on real good. One thing I've learned during this project, I'm not doing another big long project like this in the hottest part of the summer. Hottest summer we've had here in Atlanta in a long time. And then as soon as I start doing my finishing, our dry air turns into super humid air. Can't win for losing. But I've enjoyed this project. Hot, humid, dry, whatever. Alright, got it all flooded on. Bring out the excess. That final wiping. Get the sides and just a little bit of the bottom, make sure there ain't no run over drip. Alright, I'm back today. It's time to finish the finish. They're pretty dry. I'm happy with them. And I'm going to start off with my triple alt steel wool pads. Give them a light rubbing. Ready to get these guys finished up, put together. feels pretty good. Now I'm going to hit them with some 4/0 steel wool. Well, I've got it rubbed down with the 000 and the 4/0 steel wool, and then I hit it with some 600 grit sandpaper, very lightly. I just felt like it needed another touch. Now I've got some 1500 sandpaper, cut and folded the way we're supposed to do it, and I would get 2000, but they didn't have any, so I got 1500, and I got a bucket, a little bit of soapy water here. Got my sandpaper, using that as a lubricant. That will be the final bit of polishing. Well, there goes my soapy water. Ah! Well, I've got enough to finish here. I'll get some more later. Oh well. Gotta break a few eggs, I guess. All right. Edges on one side done. I've got an old towel that's been washed. Make sure it was recently washed. Just for this purpose. Get all that soapy water off. I want that on the wood no longer than it needs to be. You know, it is really good sealed and protected. All the little grooves. Oh yeah, that is perfect. I use satin poly for my wiping varnish, and not much of a shine there. That's what I wanted, but I am going to be putting a little bit of wax on it, buffing that out. Everything's ready. I'll hit it with some Renaissance wax. I love this stuff. Gives it a nice little shine, not too much. Makes it smooth, slick. Helps resist fingerprints too. Lasts a long time on there. A nice little light rub on. Not putting too much. I may come back and hit a few areas after it's assembled and put into place, but for now I just want one nice little coat on. Take an old sock here that's nice and clean. Give it its first rub out. I like to use Renaissance wax on my bowls too. I've used the Triple E polish and the Shellac cream. That works well too. But I still like my Renaissance best of all. Okay, first little wipe down. Then I like to come back one of these 3M car buffing rags. That really does the trick. Well, folks, this is what I've been waiting on. The cabinet, the doors, the finishing is done. You saw me do the doors. My young son Tyler came in from work and he helped me finish the cabinet. So everything's done, all waxed up, buffed out. Got it flipped over right now on an old comforter and fixing to put the back on. If you remember, I did it in 2 pieces. To me, that's just easier than fooling with a large 4x8 sheet when you're by yourself most of the time. So what I've done, I'll leave it all set a little bit, and I've marked the centers of each of my shelves on both ends. And then I'll take this straight edge, this drafting straight edge my dad gave me from his days of being a civil engineer. Give myself a nice little line there. I love that straight edge. Alright, got all my lines in. Got my back fitting in nice and neat. Got my air pressure charged up, and then my nail gun, I have staples in here instead of nails. I can put staples, and I have them, and I did nails on one, staples on the other, and after a while of shoving things in the shelves, the back tends to want to pop off. So, I'll pop a few in the corners here. Sliding on me. All right, got the corners down. Now I'm going to go down these lines, put one in the center. If my staple stays right on that line, I know I'm in the center of that shelf. And in between, get on there. Some of these I'll have to come back and tap with a hammer just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put in between on the edges. Okay, now I'm going to finish going around the short piece, then I'm going to hit the long one, and then I'm going to carry this thing upstairs, and I've decided to put the hardware on upstairs, just lay it down on the carpet, and I'll take care of it there. We're almost done. It's time to put this guy together. Here, put these hinges back on. started up here in the living room. The old wire rack is gone. This morning my son Tyler helped me load it up. I'm quite proud. The red oak cabinet turned out quite well with the gunstock stain. Got it all cleaned up here and put together. Doors work nicely. Got the magnetic catch. I put the catch right here in the center, but you can see got the movies here. They look a lot better. They're hidden and out of the way. Got room for plenty more movies, but this was a fun project. First time I've done raised panel doors. That was fun. I'll be doing that on other projects. I've learned a lot on this one, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I don't show all the instructional things you need, but I show you what I do, and hope you just get inspired by my project to build something like this for yourself. So it's time to close the doors on this one. See you next time. Well, DVD cabinet, you're looking pretty good. I think we need to put a finish on you. Do you have a DVD to recommend?
I recommend the Wood Whisperer, a simple varnish finish.
Now that's a smart DVD cabinet.